Alright, guys, I'm back with another chapter in Numbers. We're in Numbers chapter 8, where the header reads, Preparing the Lamps, and we're going to jump right into it. The Lord said to Moses, Give Aaron the following instructions. When you set up the 7 lamps in the lampstand, place them so their light shines forward in front of the lampstand. So Aaron did this. He set up the 7 lamps so they reflected their light forward, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. The entire lampstand, from its base to its decorative blossoms, was made of beaten gold. It was built according to the exact design the Lord had shown Moses. Then the Lord said to Moses, Now set the Levites apart from the rest of the people of Israel, and make them ceremonially clean. Do this by sprinkling them with the water of purification, and have them shave their entire body and wash their clothing. Then they will be ceremonially clean. Have them bring a young bull and a grain offering of choice flour moistened with olive oil, along with a second young bull for a sin offering. Then assemble the whole community of Israel and present the Levites at the entrance of the tabernacle. When you present the Levites before the Lord, the people of Israel must lay their hands on them, raising his hands. Aaron must then represent the Levites to the Lord. No, Aaron must not represent. Raising his hands, Aaron must then present the Levites to the Lord as a special offering from the people of Israel, thus dedicating them to the Lord's service. Next, the Levites will lay their hands on the heads of the young bulls, present one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering to the Lord, to purify the Levites and make them right with the Lord. Then have the Levites stand in front of Aaron and his sons and raise your hands and present them as a special offering to the Lord. In this way, you will set the Levites apart from the rest of the people of Israel, and the Levites will belong to me. After this, they may go into the tabernacle to do their work, because you have purified them and presented them as a special offering. Of all the people of Israel, the Levites are reserved for me. I have claimed them for myself in place of all the firstborn sons of the Israelites. I have taken the Levites as their substitutes. For all the firstborn males among the people of Israel are mine, both of people and of animals. I set them apart for myself on the day I struck down the firstborn sons of the Egyptians. Yes, I have claimed the Levites in place of all the firstborn sons of Israel, and of all the Israelites. I have assigned the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They will serve in the tabernacle on behalf of the Israelites and make sacrifices to purify the people, so no plague will strike them when they approach the sanctuary. So Moses, Aaron, and the whole community of Israel dedicated the Levites carefully, following all the Lord's instructions to Moses. The Levites purified themselves from sin and washed their clothes, and Aaron lifted them up and presented them to the Lord as a special offering. He then offered a sacrifice to purify them and make them right with the Lord. After that, the Levites went into the tabernacle to perform their duties, assisting Aaron and his sons. So they carried out all the commands that the Lord gave Moses concerning the Levites. The Lord also instructed Moses, This is the rule the Levites must follow. They must begin serving in the tabernacle at the age of 25, and they must retire at the age of 50. After retirement, they may assist their fellow Levites by serving as guards at the tabernacle, but they may not officiate in the service. This is how you must assign duties to the Levites. And that's the end of chapter 8, guys. So for me, in reflecting on this chapter, and really almost the last book and a half, maybe 2.5 books, of all the rules and the regulations of really identifying and describing just how narrow the path is when you're walking with God. And there's plenty of passages in here that reflect on that. And, wide is the way to hell and narrow is the way to heaven, and all these different things. And there's different metaphors, and there's all these fantastic words to describe it. And I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. So, it's so difficult to be good at whatever it is that you are. And it's becoming more apparent to me that struggle, even in this. Like, I am very, very impressed with Aaron. a couple chapters ago when they mentioned that his sons die while serving God in the tabernacle, preparing the fire incorrectly. Boom, both taken from him. And then Aaron was warned, hey, you better not mourn like you think you might want to. And the tearing of the clothes, it said, no, that's not for you. You don't do that. You give thanks and you keep pushing. And in reflecting on that and the Levites and their service, it's so difficult to be good sometimes. The knee-jerk reaction in so many circumstances is to be selfish and to pull away and to fight and to groan and moan and complain and just to not want to participate in all of it. And being a father and a husband and a son and a brother and a friend, being a good one of any of those, it's really difficult. It's really taxing. And it's not so much that it's a burden to be those, because you just do it in service of people that you love. And the funny thing is, you're supposed to love everybody. And so everyone that you serve should be someone that you love. It's so difficult to constantly combat the selfishness of the flesh. It's so tiring. It's so tiring to deal with other people's selfishness and frustration. And to see a community set apart for the sole purpose of those things is, it just sounds exhausting. And it's such an interesting perspective of exhaustion, because being in God's presence just restores you and takes that exhaustion away and ends up replacing it with a smile and rest and fulfillment and all those fantastic things. But man, sometimes just in that immediate, the immediacy of specific events, that knee-jerk reaction, why? Why do I have to keep doing it like this? Why do I have to keep... And it's so funny, because the closer I get with God, the more I get frustrated when I have those moments of weakness and those frustrations and those attitudes. And I'm a man. I'm going to have plenty more before I die. Even if I was to die tomorrow morning, I'd have plenty more before I die, which is such an interesting, I don't know, just an interesting little detail of life. And I don't want to take away from women too. This isn't just a specific man thing, but as I want to take more of a traditional role and lead the way God would want me to lead both my family and my children, and to try and be a member of my own family, extended family, and wanting to be a leader both in my faith and my finances and all these things, it's exhausting, because there's two schools of thought. Following God, I kind of just want to give up everything and just follow him. Like exactly what was asked of the young ruler. Say, hey, sell everything, give it all away, come follow me. Part of me is like, oh, that sounds so nice. Like, if you're truly someone that is, I don't want to say burdened by leadership, because it truly is a blessing. But when you have all these things that you are accountable for, it's so interesting. How do I want to put this? It's so interesting how difficult it can be if you are in service to people that don't want to serve. And you can see that as a parent, you can see that as a friend, as a professional, you can see all those things. And that's why it's important that God's at the center of your life, because he's the ultimate bucket filler, if you will. There's plenty of people that have holes in their buckets. There's plenty of people that only want poured into. They don't want to pour out of anything. They just want more and more and more. And it's exhausting to love those people, but God calls us to love those people. And you can do that in a manner that you don't have to deal with lack, that he will give you enough to give, or he will simply dismiss that relationship, or he will fix those things. And your job is to just do exactly what you're told in that moment. And the closer I get to God, the more like third person experiences I have with myself. In that moment, I can feel like, oh, this is a moment that I, historically have either struggled with, or I'm currently struggling with right now, and I want it to be done this way. and I want this outcome and I have this expectation. And I know I'm not to have that. I'm to give thanks regardless and want God's will to be done. And I don't know, I still, the intimidating fact of God setting these men and women apart, and this specifically it's men, but God setting these men apart to abide by these rules, and if they're not followed exactly, death is the immediate expectation. And yet they're all serving. There's no, they don't record any, no, I'm not doing that. No, thank you. And there is that in the Bible. We have the story of Jonah. We have plenty of other expectations and examples, that's what I'm looking for, examples of people just being frustrated with what God or Jesus' intent or expectation or lesson was at the time. You don't hear the griping and the moaning in this. At least it's not recorded. Maybe that's the intent. Say, no, they were given a job to do. If you don't do it right and to glorify God the best you can, you'll die. And that's that. And they're okay with that. Like, that's what they're fantastic. Because I don't necessarily think that the death is ascending to hell. How weird is it that these guys might have died and might have, I don't want to misspeak, because when we join God in heaven, I don't know if when they passed away, they are currently waiting for judgment, and where they might be waiting for judgment, whatever it might be. There's a lot more studying that I have to do with that, but man, to continue to serve, to not fear death, to just be loving who you serve, which is God, and to try and just have less of your flesh and less of yourself holding you back in everything, in how you serve your family and how you serve your friends and or the people at whatever job you might have. We're not supposed to feel lack. We hold on to that feeling. I'm just tired of holding on to that feeling. So on that note, I think I'm going to let that feeling go. I don't want to hold on to it anymore. I'm going to place that one at the foot of the cross and give you some updates on what happens. Maybe I'll do some reflection on this specific one. This might be 436, I think I'm doing. I'm going to be making some reflection in the next couple months and updating you on how God's moving in my life based on this, and not focus on the lack and just focus on the destination. If I don't do it right, I'm ready to die in service to my Lord. So I'll give you some updates on that here in a little bit. But on that note, have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll be back for chapter 9 of Numbers, where the header reads, the second Passover. Have a good night. God bless, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.